Hello guys and welcome. Today we are going to be talking about breakers, supports, and regeners. And I'm going to go over which cards you guys should use and why. And let's get on into it. So, for support / breaker, you could go with Float, because he also has the ability to heal up half of its HP on the first turn. So you can make him basically into a tank, where you go into the next fight, he heals up half of its HP. Pretty nice. I recommend getting at least 20 speed. Your speed determines your break, which is your bash. We just call these breaks because if you played any other JRPG or anything like that, that's basically what it is. You're just breaking the armor and then you're weakening the target. So you're gonna want a few bashes in your deck. Now, for every 2 speed equals 1 armor break. So right now I have 20, so 10 armor break. Now I recommend you guys to at least get to try and get to 30 speed if you can. Once you can get up to about 20 armor break, that is when you can pretty much break anything in the game almost with just 1 card, which is very nice, including bosses. So try and do that. Then put a little bit in the armor and then some in the vitality. Now for water support skills that I highly recommend is a few blinds. I would put at least 2 or 3 of these blinds into your build, and then at least a couple of group hugs. These are really good because it applies regen to all your allies. So very nice. So blind and group hug are going to be your main ones. Tidal wave, in the beginning I would recommend this just because it's actually pretty nice damage for water spirits. So you can potentially make them decent DPS attackers, but in this case we're making a support and a breaker. But for the start I would recommend Tidal Wave. I do not recommend Water Balloon. Evolution I do recommend at the start, so you can remove like things like poison and burn. This helps. HP Rain is decent. Unfortunately it does cost 2 energy, so it's kind of like a hit or miss with this. If you have the energy to spare, like if you have a energy gainer in your party, someone who provides lots of energy, then this is no problem for you. So I would recommend these if you have a lot of energy to spare. But other than that, I would definitely recommend the group hug way over the HP Rain. Then I definitely recommend at least 1 or 2 holy waters, because this really helps with, you know, the same thing I mentioned above, poison in your burns. Gets rid of all that nonsense. So, and then we have Life Pool, which pool your HP with everyone and divide it equally between all. So this is pretty nice if you go with a really high HP kind of build, but then again you might have to probably sacrifice some armor just to get your HP that high. So this is also sort of nice. And then we got your regens. The only bad thing about this is not AoE, so you're not really benefiting that much compared to group hug, so I wouldn't really recommend these. Then try and get a couple bashes, at least 5 or 6, and the rest I would take out. So take out all this. So that is your option as a support breaker. So Float. You can also do the same thing to Starseed, and I only recommend this guy because he makes taming a little easier. He's got 20% easier to tame for his ability. Then the third option is Dropple, which also has a nice ability which reduces enemy armor each round by 1. Pretty good. Alright, so you do have a little bit of option as a energy gainer with Dusty, because his ability, whenever one of your attacks is completely blocked, you gain 1 energy. So you can potentially make this guy into a energy gainer. And what you want to do that, to achieve that, is keep him at low power level. That way he doesn't do enough damage to actually damage someone. You want his attack to get completely blocked, so it has to be super weak attack. And you want to use tackles to get your energy, because what you can do is use focus. That way it turns all these into 0 energy costing. That way when you're using your attack, you're getting 1 energy back, so you're gaining energy, since these are going to cost 0 energy. So that is the combo that you're pretty much going to want to use with this guy. So get a few tackles. I would also recommend getting Rage in there to buff your main damage dealers. So keep your focus. You can get rid of this stuff. Get rid of Brawl. Keep a few bashes. Bump up his speed up to like probably 20. You don't have to go too crazy with him, because this is a, it's just a starter spirit to kind of help you out and apply some kind of versatility for your party. So that's what I recommend for this guy. So get a couple rages, a bash. You don't want the advanced rage one, the one that gives you like 4 or 5 rage. You want the one, the upgraded one, that's the low star one, and you want to get it to where it's gonna cost you 0 energy to use. So rage, bashes, a couple focuses, and some tackles, and you're good to go with Dusty. So let's move on into actually I can show you a little more how to set up a rage, like a rage support kind of build. So I would recommend blind blows, at least 2 crushes. This helps when you actually break enemies' armor, because when you do that, you turn them dizzy, and then you can reduce their HP by half. So this is good. Plus it costs 0 energy, so it's really good. Then, if you don't have a person that can get a lot of energy and draw cards, I would recommend Dropkick, because it's a good way to draw through your deck and try and get the cards that you really want. Earthquake is decent if you want to reduce armor, but it does low damage. It's not really that great of a break, so I don't really recommend it unless you need some kind of damage. Then I guess so. Fallen Foe is really good if you want to replenish your energy. So let's say your damage dealer didn't exactly kill off the enemy and you have at least 1 energy left. This could come in handy. That way you can pop this off and then get some energy back, draw some more cards, and do whatever you need to do. But yeah, once again, recommend a couple of rages, because this is basically doubles your damage of your attacker, and at least 1 refresh in every build pretty much, because this helps if you don't draw the right cards that you really want. So this helps too as well. So yeah, that is my support, kind of like card drawer slash just rage support dude. He's not really a breaker though. He's not. He doesn't really have speed. Now for electric, you can turn these guys into support slash breakers. What I would recommend is turn it up, which this does is double your charges, and what charges do is they apply additional damage to your attacks. So pretty nice. You can get pretty good amount of damage out of this, and you can apply it to all of your allies. So you just keep applying charges, keep multiplying and tripling your charges, and it can get pretty high really fast if you play your cards right. But this kind of build synergizes really well with psychic spirits, where you can draw a lot of spirit and a lot of cards. So this kind of synergizes pretty well, really fast. Then you're going to want at least a couple of these melts, because it reduces target's armor to 1. This is absolutely nuts. So definitely recommend melt. So you don't even really need to apply too much speed to this guy, because you have this card right here. And you can just melt their armor. Maybe a few charges. The only bad thing is this is single target. It's not AoE like the static, which is unfortunate. And it doesn't even really apply that much. It's only 1 extra charge compared to an AoE 2 charge, so not that great in my opinion. And then you're gonna want maybe a few bashes, a refresh. I don't recommend the tackles or zaps. You can take those out. So that's pretty much it for your electrics. Equalize is decent too. Reduces all your cards to 1. So if you did have like some higher end like attacking cards, like I know there's a couple of 3 energy cost electric cards out there that cost a bit, this would actually help quite a bit with it. So that is pretty much how you make like an electric support build. Then here we get into the energy support builds, energy and like drawing lots of cards. So what you're gonna want is Enlighten, which triples your energy. Then you're gonna want, I would say, at least 1 intangible. This kind of helps you through sticky situations, and I definitely recommend getting all this stuff on Beardini, because when its armor is reduced to 0, it automatically applies 1 intangible to itself. So kind of helps become a little extra tanky. Then of course a couple of meditates to draw more cards. I don't recommend really getting any attack with this guy. Just bump up your speed so you can get a lot of bash, a lot of breaking potential. I would actually take out anything that's attack, because this is just going to be purely a support slash breaker slash energy gainer. Then get at least 1 of these so you can draw more cards. 9 cards is going to be your maximum. 1 refresh and a bunch of bashes. So that pretty much covers the psychics. Then you also have the your cold spirits. So cold spirits, they're not really super great. They have 2 kind of like support builds that you can pretty much go into, which is freeze and sharp. Sharp can be potentially good, but the one big downside of sharp is it gets reduced by half per turn. So if it wasn't reduced by half per turn, this would actually be really, really good. Plus it ignores armor, so when the attacker attacks you, it goes right through their armor and just does straight up damage to their HP. So this can be potentially good, but it gets reduced by half the next turn, which is unfortunate. So you can also apply freezes, which reduces their damage by 25%, which is sort of good too. So you can potentially squeeze both of these abilities into your build. So I would recommend Blind Blow, your Frostbites, your Icicles. Do not get impatient. I accidentally put that in there. Some more Blind Blows. You could triple your freezes. Now you only need a few freezes, because stacking freezes doesn't really do anything. So you only need like 4 is plenty actually. Like by the time this is up, the guy should be dead anyways. So anywho, then you can apply more sharp, more freezes, and of course get your speed up to like 30 or 25, 30-ish, around there. Don't forget, you can still use food to buff up your speed even more. You can easily get up to 40 speed with buffs, so that's 20 armor break right there. But yeah, a couple bashes in there, and I would probably take out the rest of this stuff. Honestly, all this stuff can go. And there you go, you got your freeze, support, slash sharp, and slash like your draws, so you can go through your deck a little faster. Another optional support person is Minute. He can be really good because of his ability. Shuffle time. Every time you shuffle your discard pile into your draw pile, gain 1 energy. So you can synergize this with that one card I was talking about. I forgot the name of it already. Or is it Refresh, I think? I think it's called Refresh. The one where it refreshes your hand. It kind of synergizes well with this guy. So he can act as a support character as well. So you basically want the same stuff as Beardini had. This would also benefit him as well. So same setup as Beardini, but his ability is just a little different, and you can get potentially a little bit more energy gain out of this guy than Beardini. Beardini's kind of more defensive purposes. Alright, so let's get into Dark Spirits. So for Dark Spirits, whoops, I recommend, of course, Blind Blows, lots of Nightfalls. You can turn these guys into really good energy gainers. Now, it's not as good as the Psychic, but you get draw cards as a bonus, so this equals out. So, definitely lots of Nightfalls. You could potentially just make these a breaker slash energy gainer. In my case, I turn him into a DPS machine, but you can make this guy a really, really nice energy gainer, and a breaker. I deleted all my my bashes because he's not a breaker for me. He's a damage dealer for me, but he can be a very nice support person slash breaker. So I would get at least 4 or 5 bashes in here and get a lot of Nightfalls and then a few blinds. And this guy would be really good. Bump up his speed up to probably 30, armor up to 20, rest in the vitality. And that's about it. That should cover your breakers, your supporters, and your energy gainers. And hopefully this helped you guys out and you learned something, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.